the opponent, maybe or maybe not, could be substantial for the condition. You train to do more than 4 to 6 rounds, right? I've seen you train and spar 8 to 10, 12 rounds. You go more extra rounds. So it kind of mentally changes how you're going to enter the ring. Yeah. How did you prepare mentally for this fight and the last one because of what happened?
Honestly, we came in it the same way. We knew it was going to be up and rounds and stuff like that because, it came with the main event. But at the same time, it didn't go the full body. Like that wasn't the original plan. Like you said, we've trained continuously, sparring 6, 8 rounds, all that stuff. So when it came down to the fight time, I was like, I'm more than prepared to go ahead and do this. When it came down to kind of getting in there, it just made it a little bit more fun. And now that I was the main event this time, so we got to mix it up. And I knew, of course, you always got to put on a show and showcase your skills at all times. But it just added that little extra that means you want to go out and do more because you're the main event,
And this time your opponent kind of, he kind of quote unquote danced with you because the previous one kind of. He just came up with he didn't really want to engage because he saw how you were already coming up with that strong jab, that crisp jab. But this time you did. And what preparations did you do this time differently from the previous fight when you were the main event? Because the previous fight, the pandemic was it was barely even a talk. Nothing was stopped. What precautions did you take? What did you do to prepare for this as you're trying to stay safe to have this fight?
Honestly, on my own time, I rarely went out. I stayed in the house a lot. That's why I became a lot of best friends with video games. It was pretty cool. I mean, I sat back, played games. I couldn't really go out much, especially the middle to the end of camp. When things started to get a little bit more difficult, a little more technical. The fight's almost here. You don't want to, go out one time and then you sacrifice all your training because you got sick and COVID and stuff like that. But COVID really didn't play too much of a part in training. We were still here in the gym. Even when we had to stay at home, we still train at home. Got our conditioning in, running and everything. So, COVID just made us a little closer, a tighter circle during training, but it didn't really change much.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, or I don't know if you agree, but they say that professional fighters, when they're in training camp, it's basically like if you're in lockdown, you really can't do anything. Am I right? Yeah. So really, it wasn't nothing new to you, right?
Yeah, not really. That's what I was like, the only thing that I probably did, staying on lockdown, I ate a little bit more sweets than I should have. A little candy, a little donuts and stuff like that on the side, but that's about it.
Your sparring partners, you upgraded and you upped your, I'm not trying to say upgrade like in a bad way, but more like you search for higher caliber sparring partners. Now, just one to mention for now that is on top of my head, obviously Alex Rincon.
Shout out my boy.
he is, I've seen you, I've seen him, and I saw a glimpse of sparring, and I guess that was one of the best sparring you got. But what are the sparring partners that you had, and who, all of them had individual abilities in the ring. What did all they bring out for you?
Alex Rincon, he's a world-class fighter. I really like sparring him. He brings out a little extra. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that never lets off the gas, and he's always in there thinking for the next step. So it's cool. It's like playing chess. You always got to be ahead, or you got to do this, and if not, of course you're gonna get countered and stuff like that. Shout out to Charles Hatley for helping me out with some sparring too. My boy Chris down there in Houston. There's a lot of guys, I could really appreciate everybody out there in Fort Worth, getting some rounds in. But, a lot of the times, where you tend to learn stuff is where you get dirt wrench tired. And you got to get down and dirty. So, I appreciate the experienced fighters helping me get there so I can experience that. So when it comes down to the fight, if anything does ever happen, your plan B, plan C, and get everything done.
I completely agree with you. Your coaches, Hector, your father, obviously, Coach Rafael Gaitan, Senior. He will also would get in there and help you prepare. Now, this is your third time being on. Oh shoot! No, I can stop it. I can stop it. Anyways, yeah. In your first 2 fights under Mikey Garcia Promotions. You told us after the fight, and even in the corner, I'm a bit nervous. And it's okay. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. I'm just saying, you're a bit nervous. Obviously, you have fans there, you have your family there, but this time you were completely different, like more relaxed. you really wanted to break something.
Yeah.
What changed in your mind for this fight?
I mean, honestly, before those are like my first 2 fights coming back off, the long break that I had. So I did have a little bit of nerves coming into it because it's always getting to this and getting more comfortable. The ring work, stuff like that. And the last fight before this one, I maybe sparred like 4 times because of a small injury I had. Maybe 4 or 5 times, and that was about it. So I was a little more nervous because I didn't really get too much ring work, but we practiced, But coming for this fight, I knew I sparred plenty. I felt good in training camp. My daughter's getting older, so I see her growing up, and I'm like, man, as I sit there, I'm a dad. Time runs out fast, and obviously,
Oh yes, trust me, I know.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, by the time you see them, they're like crawling, and then they're already walking and asking for stuff, and you're like, okay,
talking back.
Yeah. And this time I came more of a. I mean, I've always fought for my family and I fought for what I'm doing, but it just added more to the play, more hunger.
It's deeper now.
Yeah. It hit a little bit more.
Mark, as somebody who has seen you, and I told you this to Listo, somebody who's seen you here and how you've progressed, I'll be the first one to say, and I told you, I know you get this told this a lot, I'm proud of you just as Listo. I'm proud how you are overcoming. There's rumors saying there might be another Mikey Garcia event beginning of the year. If not, something down the line. Cool. Regardless, you're going to be ready. Would you like to give a shout out to your fans and your sponsors?
Yeah, big shout out. First things first, Sweat Boxing Gym. Make sure y'all check it out here. Big shout out, of course, Profe right here. Fight News, Fight Club. Oh man,
Real Talk Boxing and Fight Home. It's all good.
Yeah, I get a little nervous in the behind the camera.
It's all
good. Shout out to Texas Tires. Shout out to everybody that's out there. Big thing to LIB out there. And, everybody who tunes in, make sure y'all don't miss out because you got all the best boxing news over here.
Mark El Guero Vazquez, thank you for your time, brother. Hope to see you soon in the ring again.